Come on, love, let the dog see the rabbit, will you?
I beg your pardon.
Make way for the workers, missus.
When I was at school, the words were excuse me.
Oh, we've had 2 world wars since then, haven't we, Mother?
Hey, and not so much of the mother, if you don't mind. If I'd have been your mother, you'd have had better manners. Sure, draymen.
Beg your pardon?
I said draymen.
Something wrong, Mrs. Turpin?
Oh, no, everything in the garden's lovely. I mean, we're all happy at the Happy-drome. As my Cyril said, the more you do, the more some folks will let you do.
Well, if something's bothering you, I wish you'd be a little bit more specific.
Now, look, I take it that as the hostess with the mostest, you've not forgotten that this is the busiest week of our season.
Of course not.
Well, then why the heck have you let Bet Lynch take it off?
For the very simple reason that she asked to take it off. Why? Have you any objection to the
Oh,
arrangement?
no objections at all. I mean, but being senior barmaid, it would have been a very nice gesture if somebody had consulted me, seeing that I'm going to be the one that's going to have to try and cope.
Mrs. Turpin, dear, you need have no worries on that score. Right on, Mr. Burrows, just leave it there. Because while Bet Lynch is away, I myself will undertake any extra work that's necessary. I beg your pardon.
I said, meaning that there's help. And then there's help, isn't there? Excuse me.
Well, if it isn't Annie Walker's little son. Packet of kale, is it, and a tube of Spanish to suck it up?
That's better. I knew you could do it if you really put your mind to it.
What?
Turn that big cheeky grin on again without cracking your face.
Bad as all that, was it?
No worse than anybody else has been, I reckon.
Billy, I want to thank you.
What for?
Well, holding me hand over Christmas and cracking on I wasn't spoiling it for you.
I'll get off, Barlow.
I mean it, Billy.
Shut up. Any more of this and I'll be shuffling my feet and going red all over. Hey, give us a packet of spearmint and we'll call it quits, eh?
All right.
He took her hand in his warmly, intimately.
And she looked into his big eyes lovingly, brown and trusting. They reminded her of the cocker spaniel her mother had, what died of galloping gumboils.
You flatterer.
Oh, no.
Hilda? Right, well, I'll see you around the back of the air raid shelter then.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Hey, Chuck, can I ask you somewhat? Somewhat of a very personable nature.
Of course you can, ma'am. I mean, what's daughters for if it's not to be asked questions of a very personable nature?
Yeah, well, how much would you say, you yourself, like, I was worth?
Well, do you mean on the hoof, like, or in your stocking feet?
I'm no serious, Chuck.
Well, you know me, don't you, ma'am? I wouldn't swap you for all the tea in China, even if I did have the storage space. Only I don't know what you mean. How much do I think you're worth?
Oh, well, look, take a look at this. And it's true, this, isn't it? I mean, it wouldn't be in the paper if it wasn't true.
Are you undervaluing yourself?
Ask yourself 10 questions. If you score more than 7, you're not a worker, you're a blooming slave. Me and your dad had a go at it between us last night.
How did you go on?
10 out of 10, both of us, plus bonus points.
Huh. So you'll be going to ask Annie Walker for a rise then now, will you?
Well, just somewhat to keep pace with us cost of living.
Well, there's no charge for asking, is there, Mother?
Now, that's just what your dad said. And, you know, he's always been very active at getting the workers their rights as your dad. Well, he was shop steward in that boiler factory for ages, you know, right up till the time they went bankrupt.
Well, listen, don't go ordering a colour telly till you see it in writing, will you?
You don't have to worry about us, Chuck. We don't go boiling us eggs until they've been hatched, don't me and your dad?
No.
Not off yet, love?
Oh, it's all right. I'll clock on when the boss isn't looking. Good morning, Mrs. T.
Is it time to notice? Did you want me?
Yes, I did, love. Billy, would you mind, dear? I've left the drayman's note on the bar.
Right.
Do you know, dear, I have realised something very interesting.
Oh?
You and Bet Lynch, you share the same Christian name.
So?
Well, of course, it's of no importance, but I suppose it could lead to friction, 2 people serving behind the same bar having the same Christian name.
So?
Well, I was wondering if you'd mind if from now on I called Bet and referred to you by your full name of Elizabeth.
Oh, please yourself, Mrs. Walker. I can't see what difference it makes.
That's where you're so wrong, dear. There's a world of difference between a full name and its diminutive.
I think so.
Of course. Now take your name, Elizabeth, for instance. In its full flower, immediately evocative, I always think of all that is finest in our English heritage. Whereas Bet, now, the diminutive, don't you think it's just a little common?
You know, now you come to mention it, perhaps you're right, Mrs. Walker.
I know I'm right, Elizabeth. Sugar? Two.
You sign there, Jack.
Get away.
Only some of us do have a living to earn, you know.
Yes, I know.
What's up? Something wrong, is it?
Oh, nothing. A couple of boxes of bitter lemons can't cure.
What do you mean?
There's 2 boxes of bitter lemons short on that order.
Hey? Here, let's have a look. Oh, no, you're mistaken, aren't you? Everything on there's gone into your cellar.
Yeah, everything except 2 boxes of bitter lemons.
Now, look, you're not calling me a liar, are you?
No, no, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's just an honest mistake. So let's have those bitter lemons and we'll forget all about it, all right?
Oh, well, all right. I'm not going to argue with you over a couple of bob. I'll drop them into you next time.
Oh, that's not good enough.
Now, look here, son.
Oh, don't give me that son bit. We've ordered them, we'll pay for them, so let's have them now.
I've already told you I'll drop them into you tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not good enough.
Now, look. Anyway, have we got any left on the wagon?
All right, we'll go back to the brewery and get some put on the wagon. Or do you want me to phone the brewery for you?
What was all that about?
Oh, just our friendly neighbourhood drayman, charging us for a couple of boxes of bitter lemons that he actually accidentally forgot to deliver.
Oh, don't let's have any more trouble, Billy.
Oh, come off it. Mummy's robbing us and staring us in the face.
Well, I suppose it could have been a mistake.
Oh, yeah. And Albert Tatlock could play for Manchester United if he had football boots. There's a thought.
Well, it's only 4 days, Albert.
What to?
New Year.
Oh, that. Thank you. Hey, how many spoonfuls of sugar have you put in?
2?
Ah, well, I usually take 3. No, it'll be the same blooming selfish pattern as before, I reckon. Wages following prices, prices following wages. You know, what's wrong with this country? There isn't one of the young'uns that's interested in aught but his own creature comforts. Thank you.
Oh, well, there's always New Year's Eve, isn't there?
Yeah, that's not what it cracked up to be either. It used to be entirely different. Once upon a time, you couldn't move round here for potato pie suppers. Now half of them don't even bother to let the New Year in.
Oh, that used to be a great thing in our house. It had to be a dark man, and he used to go out the back door and come back in again at the front.
Don't talk about dark men to me. I always cop for it in our house.
Well, one year when I was a young girl, we couldn't find anybody with dark hair, so Harry Jackson went out instead. He was a very blonde young man from next door.
20 minutes I stood out in the rain one New Year's Eve because Ariel had put the clock on wrong.
That was the year my father died.
And what sort of a rise were you expecting this time, Mrs. Ogden?
You make the offer, us on shop floor will consider it.
I see. Well, now, never having been an apostle of the pay-pause, I have no objection to a rise as such, in principle.
Oh?
Provided, of course, that increased wages means increased productivity.
Productivity?
Oh, yes. Well, as the Duke of Edinburgh never tires of reminding us, it's up to all of us in these inflationary times to pull... Well, let us just say, shall we, that you have put your pay claim in and there will now be a statutory pause while I consider it.
How long of a pause?
Oh, well, these things have to be gone into very carefully.
Yeah, but days, weeks or months?
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, Mrs. Ogden, or a week. Now, perhaps if you'll kindly start on the bedrooms.
Like that, is it? Right. In that case, Mrs. Walker, you leave me no alternative but my own industrialised action. From now on, it'll be work to rule in here.
Oh, does that mean that you will start work with the same alacrity at 9 o'clock as you finish at 12?
Just the 3 hours I'm paid for. Nothing more, nothing less.
I see. No objection to that. Well, then, I take it that you will work until 12:30 today, being already 30 minutes late.
Boneyard? Oh, yes, Helen. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got... Hang on. Hang on. Put them down there, will you? Yeah. Oh, what bill? Oh, Fairbanks and Waring. Have I got it? No, well, if I have, I don't know where it is. Look, hang on, have a look. It might be in my jacket upstairs. Hold on.
Likes chucking his weight about, doesn't he?
Want to try working for his mother. She invites you round to have a cup of tea and you find yourself going out to get a quarter.
Ow!
Oh, flaming Nora!
Oh, they say a wet blanket's very good for that.
What?
Smoke signals. Is Lennon?
No, he's down at the town hall today, dining at the ratepayer's expense.
Oh, I see. Well, when you see him, will you say that Alan said he'd meet him in the Rovers later for a drink?
Yeah, right, look, don't go, love, just yet.
Why?
Oh, now, come on, Elsie, we're pals again, aren't we?
Why?
Well, look, I've ruined me bacon, I've burnt me eggs. The only thing left between me and starvation is this piece of flipping steak.
Oh?
Well, it frightens me to death, honest. You see, Len's the steak and chips man round here, not me. You couldn't see
No,
a way
I
to...
wouldn't.
Oh, come on, Elsie.
You mean like for old time's sake?
Oh. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had company.
Yeah, and before you jump to any exciting conclusions, we're just good friends, aren't we?
Oh, we heckers like. Otherwise you wouldn't be leaving me in here on my own with this piece of flipping steak.
Not on your own now, Chuck. You've got company. Or hadn't you noticed?
And a happy new year to you and all.
Was there something you wanted doing then, Raymond?
Yeah, steak and chips.
Oh, well, you just sit yourself down, I'll see to that for you.
You what?
Oh, there are still some folk round here as haven't forgotten how to be good neighbours, you know.
Steak and chips?
That's right.
By heck, Hilda, you've saved me life.
My speciality is steak and chips.
Hey, you know, your Stan doesn't know how lucky he is having you around. I mean, we could do with having you round here every day of the week, couldn't we?
Do you think so?
I flipping know so.
Meet me in the Rovers, he says, at 1 o'clock, and I'll buy you a pie and a pint. That was half an hour ago.
Oh, don't they make you sick, men? You know, the day Ma Cyril finished Bobby and he said, oh, you'll be seeing a lot more of me now, love. He's never in the house.
You talking about me?
You hadn't crossed my mind for the last half hour.
I know. Want a drink?
I've got one, thank you.
Well, have another one.
Where have you been?
Working. Where else?
Oh, if you hadn't have told me, I never would have guessed.
I'm sorry, love. It was hard enough to get away as it was. Where's Len?
Never mind about him, won't I do?
For the moment, yeah.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Large gin and tonic, please, Bet, and a large scotch and something for yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. So, are we celebrating or something?
Well, I suppose you might call it that.
Oh, well, what? Is it a secret, or can I join?
Well, no.
Go on.
No, you think I was going daft or something.
No, I wouldn't. No, I promise I wouldn't think you're going daft unless you are.
Well, there am I in the garage, all by myself. Up to the ears in work, up to the eyeballs in oil. No sign of the boss.
Yeah.
And I didn't care.
Oh.
I haven't got a care in the world. For the first time for a very long time, I can say I haven't got a care in the world.
I see.
And you think I was going daft?
No, I don't. I've had feelings like that lots of times myself. Yeah, but don't let's celebrate too often, shall we? It gets to be expensive. Yes, steady on.
Sorry.
I'm ever so sorry, love, but this'll not cover all that lot.
Oh. Help yourself.
See what I mean?
There we are. Guaranteed to burn water for at least another 50 years.
Thank you, dear. Billy, love,
Yeah?
about this morning.
Well, what about this morning?
Well, several things, really. That Draymond's business, for instance, and then... well, could I just say this? We women pride ourselves on being a self-sufficient breed, but it's still comforting having a man's hand to steady the wheel occasionally.
I know, Ma.
Yes, love.
2 meat and potato pies, please, Betty.
With or without?
With or without what? Meat or potato?
Gravy, clever Dick. It's a new innovation.
Oh, I see. Why is gravy fattening?
Oh, very.
Well, in that case, Worthy, see, me and your Maggie's decided to let nature take its natural course for a bit.
Oh, you lucky beggars. You'll never believe it, you know, but I used to have a lovely sylph-like figure.
Of course I believe it. Mind you, I used to believe that Albert Tatlock was one of the first Bow Street runners.
Oh, gee.
Oh, ma'am, did he find you then, that fella?
What fella?
Vic Feather said it was something about an industrial dispute you wanted sending to arbitration.
Oh, we don't need the likes of him to get us as proper rights.
So Mrs. Walker wouldn't play then, eh?
Well, for the present.
What you gonna do now? Get me dad to walk up and down outside chanting only the slag's supping here?
Oh, no. There are other ways of retaliatory action besides making a fool of yourself.
Like what, for instance?
She'll find out. I have other straws in the wind.
Hello. Oh, hello, Geordie. Sorry about this morning, but I got a bit gummed up, you know.
I got a bit gummed up, too, with that blasted 1100 you left me.
Gearbox, was it?
It's a write-off.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, don't dash back. I'll see you down there later, all right? Hello, Neil.
You know, you and him get on very well, considering.
Considering what?
You started off with a flaming great row.
Story of my life, isn't it?
All right, so now you've got him in a good humour, asking for a rise.
Oh, look, I can't go on asking the lad for more money.
Why not? You're always asking me for more money.
Yes, but you're my wife. It's a marital privilege.
Here we are, Mr. Howard. 1 gin and tonic and 1/2 pound of butter.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you very much.
I'll put it in this time.
Hey, has your man been in?
Oh, she's been and gone. Why? What's she done now?
There's not what she's done and what she hasn't done. I've had no flipping dinner.
Oh, me poor Dad. Anybody can see you're starving of malnutrition. I bet you're down to your last 18 stone, aren't you?
I might know you'd take her side. You always have, haven't you? Flipping women. Go on.
Cheers.
All the best.
Something wrong?
I don't know.
Oh, what's the matter?
Well, at first I thought you'd put in a load of tonic. But now I'm not sure. Here, you tell me.
Tastes as though it's been watered.
That's what I thought.
Right.
No, Alan.
What?
No.
Look, Elsie, I paid $3 for that drink. If there's something wrong with it, I want to know why.
I don't want you to.
Why the heck not?
Because I don't want a lot of bother about something to nothing.
Something to nothing. The gin's been watered.
No, Alan.
Good lunch, Councillor.
Fair to Middleton. And you?
Oh, just a straightforward fillet steak and chips, you know. Nothing spectacular.
You did fillet steak and chips.
Well, now, how does the saying go? Nothing venture, nothing gain?
All right then, was it?
Pardon?
The steak and chips. You know, Stan says I ought to take it on television, my steak and chips.
And why not? Nothing venture, nothing gain.
Yeah, only, well, I was wondering,
Oh, yeah?
could I see you on a matter of pressing urgency?
Me or the galloping gourmet here?
Oh, well, both of you, together like.
Oh, aye.
Well, I mean, you did pay...
What can we do for you?
Oh, it's not so much what you can do for me as what I can do for you, given the chance.
Oh, aye.
I mean, you did pay tribute to my steak and chips.
Oh, what? Very succulent.
And you did say as how you could really do with me 5 days a week.
Oh, he did say that, did he?
Yeah. So what I was going to say was, well, I mean, it's not right for a man, is it, all this cooking and washing up and ironing and that? I mean, us women have got the right temperature for it, haven't we? It's in us natures, like.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was, I am available, if required.
It's very kind of you, love, but I thought you were already spoken for at the Rover's return.
Oh, yeah, well, less said about that, the better just at present.
Oh, you mean you've been sacked?
Oh, no. No, what I mean is that there are some folk round here that think if you've got a turban round your head, you're somewhat with welcome written across you for them to wipe their feet on.
Get away.
Yeah. So what do you think, then, eh?
Well, you've caught us on one leg, love. I mean, there is Stanley to consider.
Oh, you needn't worry about Stan. He's always thought I was demeaning myself a bit, skivvying for the likes of Mrs. Walker.
Well, give us a bit of time, eh? Let's think it over, eh? You know.
Yeah, all right, but you won't leave it too long, will you? Because I have got to let it be known in 1 or 2 quarters that I'm on the market. Oh, you know, I could have this place looking just like my own in 2 or 3 weeks. It's like the old song, isn't it? A man without a woman is like a fish without a sail.
Oh, heck, somebody's moved them.
What?
Miss socks.
Oh, they're in that drawer.
Oh, what they doing there?
I'll put them there.
Look, I always keep my socks upstairs in my dressing table.
The drawer in the dressing table sticks.
Oh, well, I can open it all right.
Oh, well, you don't have to put them away after washing them.
Oh, heck, now, don't go and say you've lost me garters. I left them on my socks.
That's right. And you left them on the socks on the bedroom floor. I had to pick them up this morning.
Oh, well, where are they now?
They're all in the wash.
Don't say you've gone and washed me garters. Good elastic gets ruined by that soapy water.
Not your garters, your socks. Your garters are in the drawer next door to your socks.
Oh, blooming heck. Almost the same if you bring a woman in the house. Never happy unless they're shifting things round.
Our Mr. used to put his things away after he took them off.
Yeah, well, I reckon that was probably because she got him house-trained. Any road, I'm not a cocker spaniel, so don't try it on with me.
Our Mr. didn't have to wear garters.
Oh, well, how did he keep his socks up then?
Our
Miss
Mr.
chewing gum?
His socks kept up on their own account.
Oh, well, he must have had very funny legs.
My Armistead, Mr. Tatlock, had lovely legs, and if you want any tea tonight, I thank you to have a bit more respect for them.
Yes, I think I can safely say that we can face the new year with a fair degree of confidence. That's what my Uncle Harry said the day before he broke both his ankles.
What are you looking like the Easter Bunny for? Had a preview of next year's trade figures, have you?
No, love, but I'll tell you what I have done. Within the last 12 hours, I have faced and surmounted 3 very sticky situations.
Oh, you're a little marvel, Mum. I always said you were.
Seriously, Billy, 3 difficult problems.
Well, I'm being serious. I think you're a little marvel. Standing behind your little bar, sorting out your little problems, all on your little onio.
I was speaking collectively, of course.
Well, you want to watch that, you can get done for that, you know. Especially in mixed company. Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Howard, and what is your pleasure?
Find a bitter, please, Mrs. Walker, and,
Vodka and orange, please.
Not a gin and tonic?
No, Mrs. Walker, not a gin and tonic.
Changing your allegiance, Mrs. Howard, at this late stage of the game.
Well, you know what they say, a change is as good as a rest.
And that's something else you don't know for a start, isn't it?
What?
Your mum today offered to do for us.
Do you mean do for you or do for you?
Do for us, you know, do as in scrubbing brush.
I see. Is that what you meant then?
Pardon?
Nothing. Is she going to do for you then?
Well, not exactly, no.
Oh.
Well, you see, as I remarked to the councillor of Fairclough this morning, there is Ogdens, and there is Ogdens, isn't there? I mean, there are the... And then the others, you see. Well, I am the type myself, and so I suspect is the councillor.
I suspect that I know.
I don't suppose we could interest you in a bit of occasional work?
No, don't think I'm not grateful. But you see, I've decided to take it a bit easy at the moment. I'm only doing 10 hours a day in here.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Bayek, look at the time, 6:30 and not a pot washed.
Hey, you know what I think, Chuck? I think there was hidden significance in that remark.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
3 large scotches, 3 large gins, and 3 large rums, please.
My word, you two are starting New Year early, aren't you? Hey, come on, wee Willie Walker. Give us hand for this lot.
I thought you were supposed to be a mate of mine.
Till death do us part, Chuck, you know that.
That was a right flipping favour you did for me today, wasn't it?
You know?
Yeah, all that mate of mine wanted was a few elementary tips on the art of cooking steak and chips, but you hadn't time, had you?
Ah, well, you know what my golden rule is? Skivvy for one man at a time.
Yeah, well, we've been lumbered with someone who's more than willing to skivvy for us.
Like who?
Like Hilda flipping Ogden.
I thought you were a mate of his.
I'll have this place looking just like mine, she said.
Yuck.
Exactly.
How much is that, then?
55 shillings. I'm sorry, I can't make it any less. Thank you.
We're sampling officers from the health department. We intend sending the samples for examination.
Oh, well, Mrs. Walker's in the back. Shall I get her?
Oh, it's all right, I'll go.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere where we can divide up these drinks?
Well, there's the snug, if that'll do.
Thank you.
Yes. Sampling officers?
Yep.
Oh, dear. They really do pick the most inconvenient times. In the snow. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. My name's Cavendish, Public Health Department, Mrs. Walker.
Yes, well, I don't want you to think I'm grumbling, and I know you have your job to do, but this is the second time within the last 4 months that we've had a spot check.
Oh, this isn't a spot check, Mrs. Walker. I'm afraid a complaint has been made.
A complaint?
Yes. Now, I'm obliged to tell you, Mrs. Walker, that we're going to split up the spirits purchased into 3 separate parts. One will go to you, one will be retained by me, and the third part goes to the public analyst for examination.
Yes, I am familiar with the procedure, Mr. Cavendish. Will you require me further?
Not just now, thank you, Mrs. Walker.
Very well, if you'll excuse me. Well, do continue drinking, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't the end of the world.